Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us for this Scottish Learning Festival session this afternoon. This is all about primary curriculum and innovation, and it's about listening to the learners. I'm just going to walk us through some of the things that we want to be aware of for the session. If you can turn off your microphone when you're not speaking, that's really helpful. We've got a lot of learners on the call, so there's going to be plenty of noise, so we don't need to have any additions to that. The session is going to be recorded for public viewing after this, so if you don't want to be seen, please turn your camera off. That's absolutely fine. We are going to be inviting questions later. If you can pop those in the chat as we go through, feel free to put them in, and even if we don't get to answer them just now and during the session, we can always follow them up with you later at another time. There is a closed captions feature, which can increase the accessibility. I'd also draw your attention to some of the other settings where you can make the PowerPoint, the presentation, a bit bigger screen and less so you can play with those settings if you need to. If anything goes wrong and you get kicked out of the call, just try coming back in again. Usually that's enough to get going, but there is also technical support back on the Scottish Learning Festival portal, so do make use of that, and we'd love it if you could tweet about it. And you can always tweet questions, you can tweet observations, thinking, anything, using the hashtag SLF22. So I'm Stephen, I'm from Education Scotland in the Curriculum Innovation team. This session was pulled together purely with a kind of desire to do something a little bit different, to experiment with listening to learners, to actually hear from them and hear what a curriculum feels like, looks like to them from their perspective, rather than it coming from the designer's mouths, if you like, to hear it from the actual end users, the learners that are actually in their experience in the curriculum. In each school, we don't know we don't know anything beyond our own normal, what's happening in our own establishment, our own setting. It can be very difficult to get the time to see across the piece, and so this is an interesting experiment to see if we can kind of hear from the learners and pull out some of the nuances of things that are different from three quite diverse schools, but also three schools that have done something innovative with their curriculum and have really inspired me over the last few months and years. It's really about inspiring some thinking about your own context, to get you asking your own questions. What would our learners say if we asked them to tell us what is our curriculum? What does it look like? What is it? What would their answers be to these things? So it is something there that's rather than just to kind of hear our three case studies of fantastic practice out in the system. This is different from that. This is about trying to just listen and learn and to provoke some thinking and some kind of bigger questions between ourselves. So I'll introduce the three schools. We've got Westfield Primary School. This is a rural school in West Lothian with 46 learners, and their head teacher is shared with another school, Torficum Primary School. And from Westfield, we have Callum, Oliver and Maris joining us today, which we're very grateful for. We've also got Braidbar Primary School from East Renfrewshire, and they have about 200 learners, and we're joined by their learners, Amir, Alistair, Carmen and Iris. And we've also got St Albert's Primary School, which is a Catholic primary school in the south side of Glasgow. They have over 300 learners, and we'll be joined today by Hadia, Eden, Khatija and Mohammed from that school today. And what we're going to do to kick off is we're going to hear from the learners and let them share their stories, accompanied by 3 images each. They've got 3 screens each, about 5 minutes, 6 minutes a piece, and we're just going to hear from each of those schools. So Westfield Primary School, are you guys there? Are you ready to go?
Yeah.
Excellent, wonderful. Now, you'll have to tell me when to move on the slides. So just shout and say, "Can you move the slide on, please?" And I will move on those slides whenever if I don't already do it. All right, and keep me right. If I make a mistake, just tell me. Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay, so here we go with our first picture.
In our school, we learn in an agile way. This means that all pupils have a say in what we learn and that we have time to play, to grow our interests and passions, to develop skills and decide on our own learning journey much more than we did before. There are lots of different things that make up to our agile approach, but we are going to share 3 of them with you today. I'm going to tell you about our expert network. Our expert network is made up of staff, pupils, parents, and other people in the community or beyond. We ask everyone who comes in what their skills and hobbies are and what they do for a living. They then get a place on our wall, as you can see here. When we are doing projects, we can go to the network to see if there's anyone we can get to help us. Our teachers then help us to email or phone them to arrange for support. We also use our experts to do offerings. Offerings are one-off workshops or talks. One of our teachers organises these and then advertises what is on, so we can choose if we want to join in or not. Sometimes they're in person, sometimes they're online. Sometimes they're led by pupils, parents, or even partners. Some recent offerings we've had has been fitness, guitar lessons, caring for snakes, and candle making. If the offerings are popular, then they might become masterclasses or projects. We find the expert network useful and interesting because it gives us access to more people in the wider community, and it helps our learning because we can work with people who are really skilled in certain things. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide, please. Masterclasses are like offerings, but they're different because we have to sign up for them and can't go into at least 3 in a row. Although they're not optional, we get lots of choice. There's up to 13 options to choose from, and we have to sign up for 4 of them. There's also a choice of PE masterclasses, but you have to sign up for 2 of them each week. The teacher or other experts from our expert network board, they plan the masterclasses around our projects or interests, around experiences and outcomes, and sometimes around provocations that we have explored beforehand to see where we want to take our learning. The teachers also make sure our masterclasses are full of opportunities for us to practice our literacy and numeracy. Because all the teachers do masterclasses at the same time, we get to work with a range of teachers each week and in a range of spaces in the school. We enjoy masterclasses because we have more say in what we are learning and how we learn. There's always stuff that you never thought you could do on offer, so it makes you try new things. You're not doing what your friends are doing, you're doing what you are interested in. We think we learn better this way because it is linked to what we're interested in and it all makes more sense. Next slide. We always have project time during the week. There are 4 different types of projects. First is teacher-led, second is teacher-initiated, the third one's pupil-led, and fourth is pupil-initiated. Sometimes the teacher decides on the project and gives us learning goals. We then use our learning canvases, like you see here, to plan these steps and what it will take to achieve these goals. If the project is teacher-initiated, this means that the teacher has given us different provocations that are plans to inspire us and what we can explore and play with. We then decide where we're going to take our learning and come up with our own goals and success criteria. Then we have pupil-led or pupil-initiated projects. This is where we get to fully decide what we want to do based on our passions and interests. With this type of project, we have to prepare a pitch and present to staff and peers. It feels a bit like Dragon's Den or like an interview. We have to say what our main goal is, how we plan on achieving this, which skills we are hoping to develop, and what our learning will be. After the pitch, the project might be approved straight away, or it might need to be tweaked so we can go and make the changes and then try again. Or sometimes it might be rejected altogether and we need to rethink. The teachers help us with this using coaching, so we are supported to come up with our own solutions to any problems we are having with the projects. And the same as with masterclasses. We can use all the different spaces in the school to get support from all of our teachers, other adults, and even pupils during the project time. For all of the projects, we use learning campuses to help us plan and organise our learning. We keep a track of projects using them, making sure we stay on track and can work to a deadline. And we use them to keep focused on our goals and success criteria. Any evidence of our goals being achieved are put on a digital platform called Seesaw. This helps us give and get feedback on learning that has taken place during projects, and it lets us share our learning journey with our families. We like this way of doing projects because it feels like we're being in the world of business. It's more enjoyable, and we think we learn more and get a chance to be more creative.
That's us.
That's us.
Wonderful. Thank you very, very much. Okay, if anybody's got any questions coming to mind after all that, then put them in the chat and we'll try and come back to them once we've heard from all three of the schools. So the next group is going to be, when my clicker actually works this time, is Braid Bar Primary School. So are you guys ready in there?
Yeah.
Good. Excellent. I'm very relieved to hear that you've not fallen asleep or left us, so that's good. So here's your first slide, all right? And again, just shout when you want me to change it, and I'll try and do it a bit quicker this time.
At Braid Bar Primary, our curriculum is designed to offer real-life, child-led learning experiences whilst having fun, making friends, and feeling safe, valued, and respected. Real-life learning develops our critical thinking skills. It sparks excitement, and we learn to solve problems and be creative. At Braid Bar, we use real-life experiences every day in our learning, and we use the outdoor environment as our second classroom. This image shows you what our real-life learning looks like. Here you can see our younger children enjoying muddy movers in our secret garden, learners designing and creating their own jewellery, tackling woodwork skills and using our imagination and creativity to design our own product, making our own compost to help us understand how to use food waste to help our environment, and plenty of visits to our local park, where in this image you can see we learned about area and perimeter. Another example of real-life learning is through our Spotlight Skills programme. In our Spotlight Skills classes, we learn practical subjects through real-life experiences, which lets us experience the different career pathways available to us. These practical classes are divided into 3 themes called Design and Manufacturing, Cooking, and Community.
My favourite part of Spotlight Skills was the cooking. We followed the journey of the potato. We cut potatoes and we cooked potatoes. We mashed potatoes and we fried potatoes. We also went to a local fish and chip shop called Catch. They showed us how many potatoes they needed to make the chips. The best bit was getting to taste the chips. We worked as a team as we were preparing the potatoes. I want to be a baker or a chef when I grow older.
My favourite part of Spotlight Skills was designing and creating a picture frame using wood. I enjoyed this because I really liked maths, and we had to calculate the size of bits of wood we needed, and then I got to use my measuring skills to cut the wood to the right size. I found the song a bit tricky to make it really accurate, but I persevered and got there in the end. This made me interested to learn more about woodwork at high school, and who knows, maybe I will even be a builder or an engineer when I grow up.
My favourite part of Spotlight Skills was the cooking. During lockdown, me and my mum did a lot of cooking and baking, which I really enjoyed, so this was a chance for me to show off my skills. I really liked making the chocolate brownies because I love chocolate. We used chopping skills, mixing skills, and we also worked as a team. When I am older, I want to wrap cords as a job, but I will
also be able to use my cooking skills in the future.
Spotlight skills classes allow us to learn these practical skills, which show clear, relevant, and real life links between the classroom and the workplace. This makes learning really fun. Next slide. At Bright Bar, we lead our own learning. We plan our learning with our teachers and we have a voice. In our early years, we learn and discover through play.
In the construction area, we build together with our friends. We are developing our imagination by asking lots of questions and solving problems. We all love to learn new skills through play. And we have lots of fun. It always gives Mrs. Friel a big fright when she hears our structures crashing down.
When we moved into primary 4, we got to use the Kapla block play. We were able to make more detailed, complex structures, and it definitely required teamwork and perseverance. I remember once we made a huge circular structure using the blocks which were rectangular. We did this by layering the blocks on top of each other with just the right angle and amount of space between them. It ended up like a tower.
Across our school, we plan our learning with our teachers. When we are learning about recycling, the children in the Qualities Committee wanted to learn more about Global Goal 13, climate action. We came across a company called TerraCycle, who turned snacks packaging into blankets for homeless people. We wanted to help people that are not as lucky as us. We explained our project to each class and gave them a box to collect their snack wrappers.
Next slide. Positive relationships are very important to us at Bright Bar, and we all work together to ensure everyone feels safe, valued, and respected. We have developed our shared values of kindness, ambition, and creativity together as a school community, and we incorporate these into everything we do. During and after the global pandemic, we focused a lot on well-being, and a nurturing approach is used throughout the school. Staff in the school listen to us and they care about how we are feeling. They help us feel better if we are worried, upset, or sad.
Our community spotlight skills group. We wanted to share our value of kindness with the local community. We created spring care packages for the residents in our local care home. We made cards, chocolates, and clay pots. We were successful learners by using our imagination and creativity skills to make all our ideas happen. We were so proud. The whole school community is committed to children's rights, and we learn about these in our class. We learn about racism and gender equalities and challenge discrimination. We understand and celebrate diversity through our learning experiences. Approximately 27% of our pupils are Muslim, and it is important to us that we provide experiences that are inclusive and relevant to all cultures. So one of the exciting things that happened recently was Eid celebrating Eid together as a whole school community.
Throughout the celebration day, we participated in different activities, including learning about Ramadan and Eid cook-along sessions, arts and crafts, and henna. Many Muslim families donated items of traditional dress, which were worn by pupils and staff. The day finished with a family and friends event where the whole school community came together to celebrate. My favourite part was seeing everyone in their traditional clothing and the cook-along sessions.
I hope you have enjoyed hearing a bit about what our learning experiences are at Braid Bar, and we are looking forward to chatting to you later. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much, you guys. Thank you, Braid Bar Primary School. And we're next going to move on to St. Albert. St. Albert, are you still there? Are you here? I can't see anybody, you see. Yes, you're there. I can hear you. Okay, go. You have the floor. You're in charge.
Hi, I'm Mohammed Mahbub. I'm in P7A. I am a captain at St. Albert's Primary School. And St. Albert's, our school motto is creating conscience-led communities. You may be wondering what this means. For us, it's about trying to do the right thing, even when the right thing isn't always easy. A big part of creating conscience-led communities involves us in being critical thinkers. We always have to challenge ourselves, our assumptions, the resources we use, and the reasons why we do things. We believe that we are the future leaders. We will be the leaders within our families, our social circles, our communities, and maybe even national leaders. It's important that we start questioning things just now and the, and leading with our conscience. In 2020, we surveyed our class libraries. We found that the majority of characters in our school library were white. 2% of our school roll are white. This meant that 98% of our children in the school weren't seeing themselves reflected in the literature that the teachers were using to plan their literacy lessons around. We took some time to examine our conscience. We decided that this wasn't right. We decided to make a change. So we became fully fledged authors and have since published 9 volumes of stories written by children of colour, featuring children of colour. This project has won us a Scottish Education Award for curriculum innovation. However, it's our conscience-led motto that has allowed us to take the time to see the issue, plan to solve it, and have the bravery to see the project through. We wrote the stories about female superheroes wearing hijabs, and soon Marvel copied us. We are really proud of this project, but it's our core value that spark and then sustain and innovative projects like this. Next slide.
Hi, I'm Hadia, and this is my sister, Khadija. In St. Albert's, we try and be inclusive of everyone. We have learned all about the protected characteristics. I know that the protected characteristics include race, gender, religion, and disability. We believe that our community is richer for the diversity in it. It's really important to me that children with learning differences are included in the life of our school. I like going into the playground and seeing all children playing with each other. Sometimes in our playground, there can be 5 different languages being spoken, but we all come together over a game. I think it's important to be inclusive because we will all have more friends if we include everyone. Everyone is welcome in St. Albert's, and I'm really lucky to be part of a school that is for everyone. Next slide.
Here in St. Albert's, we've been researching and exploring neurodiverse environments. We know that everyone thinks and feels different things at different times. We have tried to create our school environment with this in mind. We have spaces that are relaxing and comfortable where children can be the best versions of themselves. We have standing desks with comfortable chairs, and we also have desks that are for individuals that prefer to work on their own. We also make use of the great technology we have by using iPads to support all of the learners in our school. Lots of children in our school speak English as a secondary and third language. We make use of apps like Microsoft Lens to include everyone. Having neurodiverse environments also supports us in managing our emotions. Sometimes when I can feel overwhelmed, I know I'm able to take a break in a calm and quiet space to regulate. In St Albert's, we have free co-located provisions for children with learning differences. This is where the understanding of neurodiversity began, but it has grown and grown, and now our whole school has the understanding of learning differences. This makes our school a place where we can learn about differences, values, perspectives, and strive to support everyone in being the best versions of themselves.
Teacher? So Khadija, what do you like learning best when we learn with other classes? What do you like best about that?
With everybody else.
But what about when we learn with other classes, like when we learn with Mrs. Patty's class? What do you like best?
Miss Patty says, okay.
That's amazing. Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm trying to find my mute button. 3 years after all this remote learning started, I'm still trying to find my mute button. Right, I'm going to stop sharing. Thank you very, very much, boys and girls. That was absolutely fantastic. And I'm just going to have a tiny little moment of reflection that the 4 core purposes, the fundamental functions of the curriculum in Scotland's curriculum, successful learners, and not just literacy and numeracy, but critical thinking and creativity skills, confident individuals, effective contributors, and responsible citizens. And I think we've just seen some beautiful examples of how that is manifested in these 3 schools. So I'd encourage anyone to put questions in the chat, but without that, we're just going to steam on anyway. And if anybody does want to step in, put your camera on, you're welcome to speak to us, or you can ask questions in the chat. It's entirely up to you how involved you want to be from this point on. We're into an open forum situation, but I'm going to ask the learners some questions for the next 15 minutes. So we're going to have rattle through as many as we can. So these are questions that you guys wanted to be asked. So if anybody wants to answer them, you put your hand up and or wave at me, actually, more likely, and I'll come over to you for an answer. So the question that some of you wanted asked was, if you could study a subject or a topic for the whole year, what would it be? Do you remember this one? So who wants to go first? Yeah, I see that hand creeping up, Alistair. Go on, let's turn that microphone on in Westfield, please. Not Westfield, Braidbar. Sorry. Go on, Alistair.
Math, because you can if you want to do cooking, you can measure how much ingredients you need, and how much flour you need to make a cake or something, and you can also that I wanted to be an engineer or a builder, I have to measure how big the buildings will be, or and the blocks.
Fantastic answer. Carmen, you had your hand up. I saw it. It was definitely up. Do you have an answer for us? Yeah?
So if
I
you could
forgot.
study.
You forgot. Yay!
Wait, now I
She
remember.
just forgot
Oh,
the
good.
question. So okay.
I would say science.
Science.
Why?
All year science.
Because you can use science for lots of different things. You can use science to make some art. arty science, kind of like creative kind of science, and I sometimes use science to do maths.
Amazing. Sorry, Carmen, I cut you off. Yeah, with amazing answer. Thank you very much. I love that. Okay. Right, we'll go to St. Albert's and Eden. It's Eden, isn't it? Yeah, Eden, go.
Yeah. I think that I would like to learn about diversity because it's really good to learn about different religions and beliefs.
Excellent. Lovely answer. Thank you very much. Yes, go on. Maris.
I would like to study maths all year because you've got a lot in math. It's not just numbers. You've got measuring, lengths, and all that. Everything's in math.
Wonderful. Excellent. Anyone else want to give an answer? Yes. St. Albert's.
So you tell, what would you like to learn about all year?
Cooking.
And why would you like to learn about cooking?
Pumpkin.
Yes, that's right. We've made pumpkin soup today, haven't we?
Yeah.
Where did we get the pumpkin from?
I make pumpkin from
A garden.
Our
a garden. He has a smiley face pumpkin plushie. Yeah.
My smiley face pumpkin's running away from you because he's worried he's going to get turned into soup. Oh no. Well, that would be a disaster for him, wouldn't it? Thank you very much, Khadija. That was fantastic. Okay, next question. And these were ones that you guys had asked. Are you proud of your school and why? So who wants to field that one? Who wants to answer that one? Yep, we've got Oliver in the middle. Oliver in the middle, let's go to you.
I'm trying to find my unmute button. So our school is inclusive a lot because we have had lots of people come in to our school. So we have had different people from different countries, different race, different religion, and we've had loads of that. And we're really inclusive. We've also had people that are different genders. We've had a gender neutral in our school, so we support those people, and we support the 1, 2, the primary 1, 2s, 3, 4s, 5, 6s, 7s. We try to make them do the same, so we're not just giving like the 1, 2s the easy things, but we're not going to make 1, 2s do 75 times 8. That's a bit mean.
It's nice that you're being sensitive to their needs. I'm very on their behalf. I'm grateful you're not giving them that sum because I'm struggling with that one myself. Okay, St. Albert's, let's go to you. Thank you, Oliver.
I'm proud of the school because it's diverse. It's got all sorts of religion. It supports every different religion and every different. It supports every choice we make and all the things we do.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Lovely answer.
I was going to say that I'm proud of the school because of the books that we made in our libraries. So.
And can anyone else see them apart from you guys, or is it just in your school that we can see them?
You can buy them online. You
can buy them online. Fantastic. Yeah. Okay, well, we can get a link in the chat maybe for that later. Thank you. Okay, let's go to Braid Bar, please.
I'm proud of our school because we get to do lots of opportunities like this, for example, and our committees and house captains, because we get to do lots of fun stuff that we wouldn't usually do. And yeah, I enjoy that. And our spotlight skills as well.
Great stuff. Thank you very much. Okay. The next question I'm going to ask was, what does inclusive mean or look like in your school? But we've kind of covered that quite a lot, I think, in the chat and your responses just then. But if anybody wants to oh, Carmen's waving. Carmen, are you leaving us, or do you have something pressing to share? Let's listen.
They're very inclusive.
Inclusive means making sure everyone's included, and included looks like it looks like in our school that you need to include everyone, and so say if you were playing a game and you said no, you can't play, that wouldn't be including. And if you asked to play a game and they said yes, you can play, that's including someone. Like, so say if one of my friends asked me if they could play my game and I said yes, that would be including them. But if I asked someone if I could play, if someone asked some, I don't know.
That's okay. I think you've said it.
I don't know how to say that.
No, Carmen, you did that beautifully. We completely understand, and we got that completely. And I love how what you're describing there is how the curriculum, the stuff that your school does with you and that you spend your days talking about, it spills out into the playground, and you taking that with you. You're not just doing it because you're in a classroom and you're doing it with the teacher. You're doing that for yourself out in the real world.
And it's also part of our school values.
Aha. Okay. Wonderful. Thank you, Carmen. That's fantastic. I'm going to go on to the next question. Is what do you do in school that makes you more confident? So you have a little think about that. So Mohammed from St. Albert's, you go next.
I am captain, and like it makes me feel confident that people like have voted for me, and maybe they look up to me because they want to be captain, and yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you kind of get a bit of confidence from being almost like a leader.
Yeah.
Yeah, setting an example. Wonderful. Okay, thank you. Okay, we've got an entire forest of hands at Westfield, so we'll go to Westfield first, and Callum can start this time.
So we set an example to the younger ones and also older ones as well, but we're setting an example, and like we have community meetings, and they help because people share what they've either achieved or done, and they might want to share that.
Wonderful, excellent. Community meetings, I like the sound of that. So Maris, you next.
The thing that makes me confident in my school is the trust that the teachers and pupils give you, because they give you a lot of trust. Mm-hmm. And I really like that.
Wonderful, thank you. Great answer. Okay, Braid Bar, let's go to you.
When I got taken up for when I chosen for an equalities committee, I went up on assembly and I went on the stage facing everyone, and that kind of built my confidence.
Lovely, thank you very much. A great example there. Brilliant. What is the one most exciting thing you've ever done at your school that you can remember? The most exciting thing. Okay, let's have a little sit with that for a minute. Amir, we'll come back to you again, since you were straight back up with your hand then.
In P3 we did paper mache with my teacher, Mrs. Fee, so I really enjoyed that.
That was exciting. Papier-mâché was exciting. Good. Excellent. I wish I got to do more papier-mâché in my job. I might start doing some reports in papier-mâché. Let's try that. St. Albert's next, please. And just fight amongst yourselves who gets to speak first, because I didn't see which order the hands went up. Too many.
I liked going camping because we camped in our playground in the school once, and I found it really fun.
You camped in the playground?
Yeah,
Not
overnight.
overnight. Overnight?
Yeah.
No. Can I see the risk assessment for that? I'd like to see that. Right. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Go on, Eden. You're going.
It was the primary fives in class 3 that went camping, and we done fun activities like building our tents and making a fire.
And up at 4 in the morning.
And get up at 4 in the morning.
Shocking. I need to know more about that story. I'm going to come and visit you just to ask you about that. Fantastic. At 4 in the morning.
Yep.
Ooh, amazing. Okay. And let's go to Khadija, did you want to say something? Sorry, I didn't see your hand on the left there. Yes.
So we can do science experiment.
So science experiment.
And then a book. Do something and finish.
You finish.
Yes.
So do one of the science experiments.
Put the water in there. It's firework in there.
Oh,
and then firework and then painting and pictures and then also book stuff.
A bunch of stuff.
So it was when the first one was when we did a science experiment. It was like it came out like a firework.
Yeah, firework, a fire. A house captain.
Oh, being a house captain as well.
House captain.
Wow.
Say to me, you can listen to me, and you do this. Okay, listen to me, and do
It's
that.
okay.
And do this or something, and okay, and we'll do a head captain. We'll say, I'm good safe, I'm good university, and have
Okay, thanks, Khadija.
Wonderful. I'm just hoping.
Khadija just loves being house captain and having people listen to her. That is
quite
very
right too. Quite right too. Yeah, that's the only reason I do this job, is because I like people listening to me. And I'm just hoping that science experiment wasn't at 4 in the morning alongside the marshmallows. Okay, let's go to Westfield, please, and this will be our last answers, I think, before we wrap up. So, Oliver in the middle, it's all yours.
So the most exciting thing for me, what I done at school, was when we went on a school camp, because I was waiting for it for 2 years about, because of all this COVID being hit and stuff. And I was really excited. And when we went, they taught us loads of skills. We made bread from scratch. Like, it was proper, because we wrapped it and we made a fire. We learned to make a fire, and then they had like fun activities that were very safe. We had a leap of faith, which is quite scary, obviously. It's called a leap of faith. And we had a king swing, and it was just so fun.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, really quickly, Callum, next, go.
So we have a fun day, and we have a range of activities to pick from, and it's 2 days just before ending our school year.
Wow, fantastic. Good stuff. Lots of choice. Okay, and go. Last answer. Go.
So the thing that's really exciting for me is last year we made our own school show. We got into groups and made our little presentation, and it was really good fun.
Fantastic. Yeah. Wonderful. Thank you very much. So just to wrap up, I think it's fair to say that we've seen some incredible IDL going on in these places. The learners talking about how maths is something they'd love to do all year, because it's about getting ready for industry or cooking or various other things, can really see the purpose of that. We've got learner-led learning, we've got relevance, we've got DYW in there, we've got inclusion in there, we've got equity in there. We've kind of got a kind of every one of those things that's a really important buzzword or key thing in the curriculum that we talk about, and it's there because it's valuable and it's a reason and really important. So I think 3 great examples of how those things can kind of come together in 3 different ways is what I'd say. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. That's us bang on 5:30, and massive thank you to all of you learners for joining us. You were brilliant, you were flawless. Thank you very much for joining us. So give yourselves a little round of applause and a wave and a wave and a clap and a clap and a wave and all of it, and then try and do both at the same time if you can. I don't know if that's possible, but we'll try that. But thank you very much. And if anybody's got any questions, pop them in the chat. It might still run after we leave, but the email address is there for me. All right. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. Goodbye, everybody. Go and get some dinner. Bye.